welcome back everyone to some more Phoenix Wright Justice for All. And we're going back to trial in the case against Matt Arngard. If you guys did not watch the last several episodes, we found out a lot of interesting stuff. But the most important and disturbing detail that we've learned is that we found out that our client, Matt Arngard, is actually guilty of the crime, and now we're faced with a dilemma of, do we still represent him even though we know that he's guilty, or we're going to try to figure out something else to try to save Maya. But before we get started, hopefully you guys have an awesome day today. Hopefully you guys doing well. So without further ado, how did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You remember this in the beginning of the game? What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. As humorous as that scene is, it is kind of the internal dilemma that we're facing. I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago, as if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Ugh. Now listen up. You better get Arngard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. Maya. Phoenix. But Mia! Maya, how is Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But, you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. It's that accursed Arngard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Gumshoe! I'm really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not gonna give up. Gumshoe? Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're gonna do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get Arngard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true, I could do that if I found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you got Mr. Edgeworth everything you got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're gonna give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world and you have it in abundance. Yeah! Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. March 23rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Onguard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly is Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, will you please inform the court of today's proceedings? Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Onguard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Carrera was killed by a professional assassin, and the person who hired the assassin, his client so to speak, is Matt Onguard. Oh, what a surprising turn of events! I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya is safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Poor Will. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, I'm sorry, well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Onguard's room. Okay, sure. Witness testimony, visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with a bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Onguard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy. Well, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just gonna have to charge in head first, right? Cross-examination. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, Matt was standing in front of his room, was talking with someone. He thought it was the bellboy. He watched two of them for a while, but then he gave up and went back. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So, how long did you watch two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. Let me go back to the third statement. At first? What do you mean by that? I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago, you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was. But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. I want to know more about the tip. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court about how much you would say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Oh, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. Judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Raise an objection. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I be sat around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash, for all my hard work, excuse me. So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carita. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person police's special investigation team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? That posture by Powers, though. Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir, right away. With this testimony, the second time. This time, I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier come out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Cross-examination, the second time. Okay, he's in the hallway because he had to go to the bathroom. Bellboy saw earlier. He means one Kurita's room. When he thinks about it, the bellboy did seem kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Wait. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or... Let's try to pull a fast one. There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth. Are you gonna do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you can amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed. What about this? Objection! Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Oh, I forgot about that. Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask a court to please take a look here. I'm sorry. This is the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone could clearly see that it's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy is empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? Excuse me. That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. I can't get blacks here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs? Are you kidding? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? Where's he going? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant, and then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. They need to be so happy about it. Witness testimony, the second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room, then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kinda saw that by accident. Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, the second meeting. After leaving, the bellboy went to Matt's room, gave something to the person inside the room. I said, hold it! Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Okay, I'm gonna ask him about the person inside. So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Ongard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Ongard himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing, then the old guy just left without even going into the room. Where did this bellboy go after he left Mr. Ongard's room? He opened the door to Viola Hall, went in there, and who knows after that, right? I do. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at the time? Oh yeah, I saw that one thing. What? He saw something else? There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. I was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Power's testimony just now is just as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Although, that just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Talk about a lose-lose situation. We're gonna press the same statement as before. I said hold it! Okay, I already... Yeah, I'm not rereading this because we're gonna ask him something different. Okay, ask about this something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? Hahaha. If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kinda small. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think it is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... no. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Wooden statue? Does he mean this? I think he means this. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is gonna happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw, was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Mr. Onguard's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the killer assassinated one creator in his room, and then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found in Mr. Onguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Onguard is the killer's client. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if he hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Okay, let's talk about the person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of... Well, what is it, Mr. Powers? If you're gonna scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh yes, sorry. Actually, so, I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear. You've got to be kidding! Are you sure that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order! Order! It looks like you've dug your own grave, yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt Onguard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now? Mia, help. You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry. Now, I will bring this cross-examination to... Your Honor. Again, Mr. Wright? We've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There were still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Okay, let's talk about the bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Onguard's mansion. However, Mr. Onguard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh, I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way time-wise for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Whew. Disaster averted. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding in the Ungard mansion as its butler. Well, what a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to Ungard mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt Ungard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now pound down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? We have to raise an objection. I will know. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at Ungard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. Excuse me. The real client? Yes. This is all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Let's go ahead and save. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore the real murderer? It all goes back to Miss Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt Ungard for the crime. By wearing his bare nickel samurai costume. Ah! Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Ungard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony, the defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Ungard's mansion, there was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Ungard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Mr. Ongard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. And with that, that is where I'm gonna end it. And the next time I see you guys, we will be done with the recess, and we will be hearing from Miss Adrian Andrews once again. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. And I'll be seeing you guys again next time.